Good evening. Thank you very much for joining tonight's broadcast. Our top stories today. President Paul Kagame is in Dar es Salaam ahead of Tanzania's 60th Independence Day celebrations, which will take place on Thursday. On Wednesday, Rwanda and Sweden signed a grant agreement worth 8.9 billion Rwanda francs to support climate change initiatives in the eastern province. 4 youth projects are going to be awarded 10 million Rwanda francs each through the Imbuto Foundation's I-Accelerator program. Happy Wednesday. A very warm welcome to RTV News in English. I am Gloria Mutisi. Starting us off tonight, President Paul Kagame is in Dar es Salaam ahead of Tanzania's 60th Independence Day celebrations, which will take place on Thursday. He was received by the Tanzanian Minister of Constitutional and Legal Affairs, Professor Palamagamba John Kabudi. This is President Kagame's first visit to Tanzania since Samia Suluhu Hassan became president of the country, replacing the late John Pombe Magufuli, who passed away in March this year. The two countries are committed to further expanding cooperation in various fields for the benefit of both their people. On Wednesday, Rwanda and Sweden signed a grant agreement worth 8.9 billion Rwanda francs to support climate change initiatives in the eastern province. As Betty Mutoni reports, Rwanda needs $11 billion to have reduced air pollution by 38% in 2030.
Sweden's ambassador in Rwanda signed on behalf of her country, while the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzinda Gishimana, represented Rwanda at the signing ceremony.
Its reach, including 35 protected areas, 500 kilometers of roadside areas, 400 kilometers of land along rivers and streams, and 8,000 hectares of productive agricultural forest land. The intention to explore long-term financing solutions for biodiversity, advancing in practice the use of payments for ecosystem services and carbon credits, and finally, the broad-based partnership and potential to leverage local expertise ranging from the participation of local authorities, the government, university, private sector, and not least civil society.
Dr. Uzinda Gishimana noted that this important project will contribute to Rwanda's nationally determined contribution for mitigation and adaptation by 2030.
This project comes to support our environment and climate program, which is a key cross-cutting area of our national strategy for transformation, the NST1, with a particular emphasis on biodiversity, ecosystem management, and pollution. It is further in line with our Vision 2050, with the goal of being carbon neutral and climate resilient by 2050.
Rwanda needs $11 billion to have reduced air pollution by 38% in 2030. Betty Mutoni reporting for RTV News.
Many thanks, Betty Mutoni. Now, Chief Justice Dr. Nteziryayo Fauste has noted that since 2015, judges and clerks in 50 courts have been prosecuted for corruption and others fired as part of efforts to fight against corruption in the justice sector. He also adds that various agencies should work together to fight and eradicate corruption in Rwanda, and that people should be aware that they have all the rights for the services they provide bribes for.
Our main goal is to ensure that the public understands that they have a right to these services free of charge. And for those with a cost, they must also be clear. As people in the judiciary, we also have a goal to improve service delivery, since the first corruption gap is poor service delivery. From 2005 to present, about 50 judges and clerks have been punished for corruption.
The ombudsperson, Nirere Madeleine, points out that public and private sectors should improve service delivery as public bribes to speed up service delivery.
The law is generally well executed, whether it's a law that punishes corruption or that is related to public procurement. Visible gaps will be corrected soon. but the problem in service delivery, whereby all institutions were urged to improve service delivery and monitor how anti-corruption committees run their work in different institutions. Assessments should be made permanently to eradicate all corruption gaps.
Honorable Minister of Defense Major General Albert Murathira on Wednesday delivered a keynote speech to the 2021 Seoul United Nations Peacekeeping Ministerial Conference hosted virtually by the Republic of Korea from the 7th to the 8th of December 2021. In his keynote address, the Minister of Defense Major General Albert Murathira noted that Rwanda continues to bring innovations to peacekeeping, including Kigali Principles on Protection of Civilians that have been adopted by 55 member states. The Kigali Principles perceived a positive initiative to enhance commitment and accountability of troops and police contributing countries with regards to protection of civilians. Minister Murathira further reiterated Rwanda's commitment to international peace and stability and to enhance the new initiative for digital and medical capabilities in peacekeeping missions. The UN Peacekeeping Ministerial Conference is aimed at strengthening peacekeeping operations by improving the performance and impact of operations in line with action for peacekeeping plus close capability gaps through concrete pledges by facilitating new and sustainable partnerships while strengthening the existing ones. Rwanda, as a key player in peace support operations, co-hosted with the USA international preparatory meetings on protection of civilians in 2019 and on performance and accountability in July 2021. Rwanda is ranked as the 4th troops and police contributing country worldwide and is credited for its exemplary and selfless performance in peacekeeping missions. The UN Peacekeeping Ministerial Conference is the latest in a series of meetings at the head of state, government or ministerial level since 2014. The first UN Peacekeeping Ministerial Conference was held in London in 2017, in Vancouver, Canada in 2018, and in New York 2019, and this year is in the Republic of Korea. Moving on, 4 youth projects are going to be awarded 10 million Rwanda francs each through the Imbuto Foundation's iAccelerator program. For this year's round competition, the competing projects are required to have a special focus on reaching out to young people with disabilities with information and services on reproductive health and wellness, mental health, and the fight against discrimination towards those seeking help.
The Imbuto Foundation on Wednesday officially launched the 4th round of the iAccelerator competition, which brings together young people with innovative projects that address youth challenges related to reproductive health and mental health. This time round, the competing projects should have a special focus on reaching out to people with disabilities with information and services on reproductive health and wellness, mental health, and the fight against discrimination towards those seeking help. Geraldine Umutesi, the Deputy Director General at Imbuto Foundation, notes that holding no one back is one of the key principles of the organization.
Niba umuntu afite ubumuga ntabwo ari uko adashoboye, ntabwo ari uko atamenya.
If someone has a disability, it doesn't mean they aren't capable. But these are special groups that are not informed about reproductive health and mental health, but most especially their families. Just like most of the work we do as Imbuto Foundation is inspired from families, we believe there is capacity and perceptions these families should have towards reproductive and mental health. And so as we continue to cement our plans and programs, we aim at inclusiveness for all. Some young people from the College of Medicine at the University of Rwanda are among those who are ready to compete in this year's round.
We were motivated because at the end of the day, this is a problem that is affecting Rwandans, a problem that is affecting our fellow youth, even us as we're speaking. So we feel like this solution should come from us who is being affected, because we know the problem more and we are motivated as the youth, as the president says, that the youth is the power of the country. So even the solution should come from the youth.
Me, as a youth of Rwanda, I have to step up, as we are reminded each day by the First Lady and the President of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame. So we must step up, as we are 60% of the Rwandan population, the youth. We first have to step up. Secondly, as a student in the field of health, this is a problem I take personally because it will be in my career. So I have to work hard to start my career even though I'm a student. That's why I'm interested in iAccelerator Phase 4.
Giraneza Christelle is one of the winners of the second round of the iAccelerator competition in 2019. She and her teammates were awarded 10 million Rwanda francs. She says self-confidence is the answer to the problems young people face and what makes them successful in this competition.
Umushinga wacu bawita Urukundo board game. Washizweho na Urukundo initiative.
Our project is called Urukundo board game under the Urukundo initiative, which is a sexual and reproductive health availing information board game whose aim is to provide friendly, safe, trustful and evidence-based SRH information to young people without shame. So parents have embraced it and have bought the games to have a healthy interaction with their children. I would encourage my fellow young people to have high esteem and confidence in their innovations while seeking for guidance from those that could help them reach the young people and the country at large.
Babigeze ku rubyiruko ndetse no ku gihugu muri rusange.
The Imbuto Foundation says it's pleased with the way young people are showing their willingness to solve their own problems through the iAccelerator program, which has received more than 5,000 projects in the last 3 rounds. For this 4th round, registration for the competition will take place for a month, and the 4 winning projects will be announced on the 28th of January 2022, each of which will receive a grant of 10 million Rwanda francs.
Some of those who graduated from technical and vocational training schools say that they made use of the knowledge gained from these schools to create jobs for themselves, and now they are able to employ others. Sam Kalista now reports.
At a mining area located in Rwamagana district, Mugisha Grevi is designing a mining plan that will help miners in their work. He is using a machine to connect the outer and the inner data of the mine. Mugisha acquired the knowledge during his university studies, where he studied engineering and later trained in mining.
Nize mu ishuri rya IPRC Kigali, ishuri ry'imyuga n'ubumenyingiro.
I studied in a technical and vocational school. This is where I started a project I'm going to take you through right now. Some people are normally working from the top of the mine, while others are working from down of the mine. Hence, they need a way to communicate through a technology that I'm about to show you. I had to mark this area so that it can guide my colleagues, because this area is 135 meters long. From here to the outer part, it is 300 meters long. So I can say that studying in a vocational training school helped me a lot, because I can testify that I'm a young developed man. Now that it doesn't benefit me alone, but also others. You understand that it is of a great importance. Tuyambaze Flower and Bizimungu Jonathan, on the other hand, say that without vocational training, entrepreneurship wouldn't have been easy. I design digital billboards which can be animated. I did this to help people who are unable to access such billboards. I studied this from TVET school. I graduated from IPRC Kigali.
At this point, I'm able to compete on the job market. I can be able to present what I do and get the market for it. The fact that I am able to install electricity and design people garden is good. You cannot be able to differentiate what I do from what a foreigner or any other person is able to do.
Some of those who have been employed by these TVET school graduates say their lives have been changed for better. The fact that Flower studied vocational skills was useful to me because she had the idea, put it into action, and now employs me. The Vice Chancellor of the Rwanda Polytechnic, Dr. James Gashumba urges graduates and young people to continue their efforts in entrepreneurship. Most of other jobs we knew are getting over, but people with vocational skills will never fail to get jobs. That's the advice I'd give to young people, plus others who graduated. Do not lose hope, but rather continue learning even other things, but mostly technological, because technology is the future. According to the study, 3,049 students of technical and vocational training colleges in the year 2021, 52.3% were able to get jobs in various industries and institutions, while 11% are now self-employed. In the National Strategy for Transformation program, the government has pledged to have 60% of all students in technical and vocational training schools. Sam Kalisa, RTV News.
Many thanks, Sam Kalisa. Now, residents that seek medical services at Gatunda Hospital in Nyagatare district say they appreciate the services provided by the hospital, which has now reduced the long journeys they used to make while seeking medical treatment at other hospitals. Ghislaine Mugwaneza now reports.
Residents that live in Gatunda, Karama, Kiombe, Rukomo, Mimuri and Mukama sectors in Nyagatare district are the beneficiaries of the medical services provided by Gatunda Hospital that was fully constructed in May 2020, but got officially opened on 4th July 2020. It's been 1 year and 5 months since it started functioning, and the residents appreciate the services provided by the hospital, as well as being grateful to President Paul Kagame for providing this hospital.
This hospital came as a solution. We used to get sick and have nowhere to get treated. We used to make long journeys seeking for medical services. Luckily, President Paul Kagame gave us this hospital, and it is really useful. Another thing we appreciate is the doctors in this hospital. They provide good services.
They receive patients very well. I couldn't manage moving myself to give birth. They helped me and I gave birth. Pediatric, dentistry, maternity and ophthalmology are among the medical services provided by Gatunda Hospital. The hospital's administrators have said that so far, the number of patients seeking services has not exceeded the hospital's capacity, but the measures have been implemented to hire more doctors nevertheless.
We manage to treat every patient that comes here. We don't even send patients back home because we have enough doctors to take care of them. Unless we want to do follow-ups. There, we give the patient an appointment. He or she should first go under consultation. There are no challenges so far. We haven't received patients that are beyond our capacity, maybe for staffs, like nurses. There were a few before, but the Ministry of Health provides more staffs as we receive more patients.
The hospital provides treatment in an area with 205,000 residents. Following refers from 8 health centers, Gatunda Hospital cost more than 5 billion francs to construct. Ghislaine Mugwaneza, RTV News.
And people in Musanze district are commending the fact that a motor vehicle inspection center was established there, helping them and others in surrounding districts reducing the journey of coming to Kigali to have their vehicles inspected. The center has also helped increase employment opportunities in the area because of the servicing vehicles sometimes that is needed to be able to pass inspections. Serge Nora in our reports.
The Motor Vehicle Inspection Center at Musanze was officially opened in November last year, giving much relief to vehicle owners in and around that district because they no longer have to go to Kigali to have their cars inspected. They provide us with very good services here, and now we no longer have to go to Kigali, where we were forced to queue up to get our vehicles inspected. And God forbid they find anything wrong with it, because it then means staying there for up to a week having it repaired so that it can pass inspections. You understand how that was affecting our livelihoods. I am not saying this out of bias, but But this is the best thing that could happen to us because going to Kigali was very difficult for us. This is a solution all vehicle owners welcomed with open arms. The Motor Vehicle Inspection Center has also helped businesses in the area strive, providing services affiliated to the inspection process itself. Many vehicles were being repaired and serviced in Kigali, and ever since the center was opened, they have been coming here instead. Certainly local garages have been making more money.
People here in Musanze needed that inspection center for more reasons than just one. Those engaged in business like us have been benefiting because we help people with services to do with booking and paying for an appointment at the center, as well as making photocopies of the required documents. Basically, anything to do with online booking and paperwork, we take care of it.
In the 1 year the center has been operational, it has already inspected close to 15,000 vehicles.
Nyuma y'umwaka urangiye imodoka cyangwa se ibinyabiziga bigera ku
It has now inspected 14,600 vehicles in its first year of operation. It should therefore be noted that the objective it was set up for, namely to relieve the burden of those who were being forced to drive to Kigali for inspections, has been achieved.
Korohereza abaturage bakoraga urugendo rurerure bajya gushaka iyi serivisi Kigali.
The garages in Musanze district are, however, now faced with the challenge of servicing and repairing types of vehicles they previously did not have any experience working on. I have to admit that the garages here are not capable of dealing with every problem that may arise in a vehicle, especially the newer models that have a lot of electronics in them. They need the sort of experts you will not get in these garages of Musanze. I am a driver and I work for the owner of the vehicle behind me. I came here for the inspection after leaving the garage where my emergency brake had been repaired, yet the car still failed the inspection. Sure enough, soon after the entire system locked up the wheels and now I have to call the mechanic here to unlock it so that we can go back to the garage and try to fix it again. The National Police is asking the local garages to step up their efforts to upgrade the services they provide and for vehicle owners to be careful about the proper maintenance of their vehicles.
Tukaba rero dusaba abatanga serivisi y'amagaraje ko
We are therefore asking garage owners to look into capacity building at their facilities so that the services they provide meet the required standards. And we are also asking vehicle owners to take the time to come here themselves, not send others on their behalf, because the results of the inspections are not always communicated to them the way they should.
When the
Musanze Center was opened last year, others were also established in Hui and Rwamagana as a way of reducing the number of vehicles that were going to Kigali from the provinces to be inspected.
So we'll leave it at that for today. It's always a pleasure to have your company. Have a lovely rest of the week. God bless you and keep you. And until next time, I'm Gloria Mutesi. Bye for now.